It gets fast. Everybody together. Welcome to all the guests. I have two nephews in the room. Can you point them out? I have Lavi Allswing and Yehuda Stefansky. My son is sitting between them too. Got a Loza Menachem. Shmak. Who else do we have? Who's a guest here tonight? Anybody? You're a guest. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Oh, Shalom to your father. Shalom Aleichem. Where are you from? Passaic. You know I went to Passaic, right? I learned in yeshiva there for 2 years. And his father also went to Passaic for a few months. The guy behind you. Yeah, you that doesn't even know that. Who else is a guest? You're a guest. Shalom Aleichem. What's your name? Oh, you live here in Bet Shemesh? Where? You came from Arnov for the shir? How do you hear about the shir? Shmak. Who else? Oh, yeah. What's your name? The Rebbe of Heinach. Grace a guest, sure. He's all the way from Manchester. You've been about 40 times, but okay, listen. You just... Well, man, you're a guest, no? He's okay. He's embarrassed. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? I'm going to jump around here a little bit. What's this? This is a guy that does the daf in the car. Okay. From Meir Spitzer, I've been learning with you for close to a year. I've gained personally in a number of ways. Rabbi Sai, Rosh Shoshana is coming up. The Olam. I noticed that the Olam during Shtil Shemona Esrei. Yeah. I'll explain. During Shtil Shemona Esrei, the quiet Shemona Esrei, the guys start practicing Tkiya Shofar. And then what happens is one guy blows his nose, the other guy goes into competition with him. He goes, I'm better than you. He goes, you can do this even louder. I've gained personally in a number of ways, enjoying the consistency of the daf and of course the better understanding with your beautiful animations, etc. But one thing I've gained immensely from, which I think is worth the share. Once I got into watching you share on my screen, I stopped using the screen for anything that is a time waster, news and like. Just like Moshe Rabbeinu wouldn't use the same mouth that would speak to Hashem to nurse from a mitzvah, my computer that I use to watch Yeshir shouldn't be used for Dvarim B'Teilim. Tremendous Hakar Satoiv, Meir Shimon Spitzer. It was nice to hear you mention the name of Walter Carey, someone who I personally knew. He was a true Yid with a fire of Kedusha. May his memory be blessed. On the way here, walking here, I received an email from another Walter Carey, Yontif Carey, his grandson who's never met him. And he said, I watch Yeshir every day and I heard you mentioning my grandfather. Tell me more of the story. This is interesting, Rabbi. He said, this is a bar mitzvah boy. My name is Mendel Lightstone. I started Daf Yomi by the beginning of Sanhedrin. I'm a shliach for the Rebbe with my parents. Baruch Hashem, I've been learning every single day, including on my bar mitzvah yesterday. Here are 2 videos.
Good morning, Rabbi. My name is Mandalay, and tonight was my bar mitzvah, and I did the daf parts of it today, and I do the Rambam, and I made my whole class go, good morning, Rabbi.
Gewaldig. A good Erev Shabbos. Thank you for another great cheer. To follow up on the point about walking over children, Rav Moshe Heinemann Shlita writes the following: Imanoimar Shmiras HaNefesh VaGuf. Question number 24: is it sakana to step over someone? It's only sakana if you step on him, but not if you step over him. There's no such sakana. Then in the footnote, they bring the Ber Moshe, which I received from 3 or 4 people. This really irks a lot of people. That's how can it be? My whole life I didn't step over anybody. And now you're telling me that it might be nichosh, it might be usher to not step over somebody. Seriously. It might be a nichosh. No, if you say I'm not stepping over because it's sakana, it could be it's a problem. But here, the Ber Moshe says, Im yesh mokim la'minug shelo la'avar yeled kota nishavti, kein hoya minug ma'ozim kedin. There's always such a minug. V'akol hoyu makpidim azeh. Okay, being that I said in Shir that if you notice there was a lot of plane crashes lately, you know, the one in Canada and this and that, and a bunch of people are scared now. You can't go on a bus anymore because who knows, you know, you can't go on a plane. So you're gonna go back to a horse and buggy or whatever. But a guy sent this to me. He was very upset. He says, "Gil, you know about this? Is this real from the NTSB?" Gil is a pilot, right? So it says over here that the fatal, non-fatal plane crashes by month since 1962, despite the media reporting numerous plane crashes. I have a shayla on this, I'll tell you in a second, but it says over here that if you look, in 2025, there's only 63 crashes in January. Look at the year before, 80, 89, 82, 74. Now, these are all small aircrafts, basically. And they're not talking about jets, very few, and I think this year maybe they did a little bit more jets. So yes and no. We all know it's a sakana to go on a single engine plane, but the fact that these numbers here, okay, whatever.
I don't think those are
Givaldi, I just want to show you. I don't know if I showed you this. This is Baruch Hashem. We have a few groups. We have 3 groups so far, and we're looking for more. This is a group in Beitar. Check this out. The amount of people. They bought that nice, great 50-inch screen. It's unbelievable. So, Chain Hala. Lakewood also has a group. Rechasim has a group, a very nice sized group. And Beis Hashem, they should go Mikhail Choyel. They did steal one of our guys. The guy with the white yarmulke, that's Mordcha. Rav Mordcha. Here he is, with the thumbs up. Okay. How do you shut that off? Okay, Yivaldik. Rabbi Isai, we're holding a brand new sugya, Daf Amud Aleph by a Mishnah. So if this is your first sponsor, Zoiv. I didn't get to the Mishnah. Are you serious? Where did we get to? Oh my gosh. Wow. I didn't prepare that. Huh? Hey, Shalom Aleichem. Yeah, come over here. Save your seat, Bemis. Next to me. Stender and everything. With the Gemara. Refuah Shmuel Ben Alte from his grateful family. The Masech sponsor for Atzlach Baruch and Gashmias. Masech is sponsored by Larry Cohn in memory. Yechiel, you missed all the Geshmak emails. That you could go back later. Larry Cohn in memory. Shalom Yishkoyach. Thank you so much for coming. Wow.
My pleasure.
Larry Cohn in memory. Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim. V'yetu started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he's nifter. The Masech is sponsored by the Unity of the Jewish People. Sponsored by Glenn Esterson with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Parnasa chodesh li'nishma Zchurya ben Moshe li'nishma Zchurya bas Yosef. Zchut, Parnasa Birevach for Baruch, Tzvi, Nissim ben Shoshana Leah. Parnasa chodesh with the Karsa Toy from Anonymous. Parnasa chodesh Shprintzy Alan Gross. Shelaima Zalm ben Yitzchak Isaac and B'yam Isaac ben Tzvi Hirsch HaKoyen and Refuah Shelaima. Yosef and Eitan ben Bathsheba Bracha by Leon Welcher for the speedy release from house arrest of Ari Rosenfeld, Aaron ben Hinda, Esther Gittel. Coil of the month, sponsored by HYK Ventures in honor and for the success of all our clients. Parnasa Shavua Eli Melech Schoenfeld for Zchut for our family. Parnasa Shavua. May this Zchut merit a shidduch b'korov for Tzipora Bas Mindel Esther shidduch b'korov, and a shidduch b'korov for Henach. Maybe it's a shidduch. Who knows? Parnasa Yoim Mordechai Sapaznik, a great uncle, just passed away. Michal David Ben Yitzchok Schmidman Zchrono Levracham. May his neshama have an aliyah. May his family have an achama. Parnasa Yoim. Elisha Rosenzweig, Lili Nishmas, Leotovas of Rome for my mother-in-law's 18th yard site. Parnasa Yoim, Baruch Berger, Lili Nishmas, Chaim Shmuel Ben Pinchas Zeli, Zchrono Levracham. Art of the month, 2 of them, and then we're done. For Zchus, for Belly, and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah soul enjoyable for so many. And Art of the month, in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work that they do. Rabbi Sai, Toner Rabbanon, like 12 lines from the bottom of Amud Aleph Beis. Then we get to some of the most interesting agaditas, maybe the most interesting story in all of Shas. Special treat today. We have a few mamish surprise thing in middle of Shir. And I have a question, but my nephews can't answer this question because I kind of told them the answer during Shabbos. But here's a question. If a person does kishuf, does magic, real magic, and turns a woman into a donkey, is there a Isser Yichud with her now that she's a donkey? Question number 1. Question number 2, could you ride such a donkey? Halachically, is the man allowed to ride such a donkey?
Yes.
You say yes.
Of course, and it's not Yichud, it's a donkey.
But it's a magical donkey.
Like Shrek.
It's a raya from Shrek.
Oh.
Wow. How's your Shnai Mikra this week?
It's good.
It's good.
It's good. We're at Har Sinai.
Maybe I don't have to take you on a helicopter ride. I can just get you a magical helicopter ride. And wow. Gewaldig. Thanks.
What if we turn a woman into a helicopter? Can we fly it?
You say yeah, I say no. So I'm going by, you go by yourself. What if you turn the pilot of the helicopter into a woman? That I would not go on. Right. Ubas ish kohen ki seichel liznais. We're talking about the daughter of a kohen. Ki seichel liznais, we're going to see what the Shoshana is. Rebbe Omer tchila. It's the beginning. So until now we learned that the word seichel means chilul, like to make a chalal. If a kohen who's not supposed to marry a divorcee marries a divorcee, so his children are chalalim. Now Rebbe says no, a different pshat. It means tchila, the beginning. V'cheinu oimer, and we're going to have to see what these words mean. V'cheinu oimer. Umeisa isha sheshochav ima levadoi. Mike Omar, what's going on here? Omar Avodim Yeshua Rebbe Kirbi Shmuel really. Rebbe holds like Kirbi Shmuel. The Omar Arusa Yatzel L'Sreifa V'Lo Nesua. That only an engaged woman whose mizana gets sreifa. One of the four Mrs. Bezdin is sreifa, but not a married woman. This is what it means. Im tchilas bia biznos. If the first time that she ever had relations it was a znos, was biznos, she was a psula, and that was the first time. Then b'sreifa, then she gets sreifa. V'idach, but a married woman gets a different misa, chenek. Chenek is much less than sreifa. Sreifa is where they pour lead, hot lead, down her throat, and that's how she dies. My v'chein. But we have to understand what these words are. V'chein oim. I'm just rushing to get to the geshmak stuff. We have a bunch of new people. It's like, what is going on here? You told me it's a geshmak sugya. V'chein oimer, this is also geshmak, but not like that. It's a different type. My v'chein, what does it mean v'chein? It says Gemara ki hasam. V'chein means like that sugya over there. Ma hasam. When we're talking about a naira murasa, we have two sugyas here. We have the daughter of a kohen, and we have a woman a girl, a naira, between the age of 12 and 12 and a half, who is engaged and not married. So ma hasam b'tchilas bio. Over there, obviously, the naira murasa, she was never with anybody before kamishtoikra. Hachanami, so too by the bas kohen b'tchilas bio kamishtoikra. I'm learning from the naira murasa what category is she in? Not category, that's not the right word. What's her matzav?
Her status.
Status, thank you. That's what I was looking for, that word. What's her status? Her status is she was never with anybody before. So Bibi, Abayi's son, said, my master, meaning, who was Abayi's Rebbe? Abayi's Rebbe, Abayi Aturabeh, famous in the Gemara, who?
Yosef.
No,
Yosef.
very good. Rav Yosef was one, who's the other one? How do you know? First of all, how old are you? This is not fair. It's not supposed to happen. Okay, yeah, okay. So this 11-year-old kid is going to teach us something. There's once a story with Abaye and Rava with Rabba that what happened?
That he asked where's Shem,
Where's Hashem? Very good.
and Rabbi
Pointed up to the sky. Yeah.
the ceiling, and Abai went out and pointed.
So from there you see that Rabba was his Rebbe.
Yeah.
What else was Rabba and Abaya? Huh? No. Who was Abaya's father? Abaya was a Yosem. So who brought him up? Rabba. Okay? But very good. Excellent. See, we have 11-year-olds here. They know more, better than the adults. Givaldi. We only take, not every 11-year-old can come to the shir. We only take the best. A big Bali Kishrin. And it happens all the time that they're better, they're quicker.
Better than me.
Yeah. I'm talking about. Okay. And the Gemara explains, Umanu Rav Yosef. Don't think that I'm talking about Rabba, who is also Rebbe. I'm talking about Rav Yosef. Rebbe Kirmeirs, really. What Rav Yosef said is no. Rebbe actually doesn't hold like what you just said. Rebbe holds like Rav Meir, spiritually. The Omar, Nisis Lechel Min Apsulin, that if a Bas Kohen marries somebody that's puzzled to her, like a mamzer, Misasa B'chenek, then she gets strangulation. V'achi Kamar. And this is what Rebbe meant to say. Rebbe didn't mean to say Chilas, that the first time she was ever with somebody was biznos. But what he meant to say is a little different. Im Chilas achalos biznos, if the beginning of her being mechalal herself was biznos, then it's bisreifa. V'idach b'chenek, but otherwise it's chenek. That what? That Rebbe is saying that the beginning of the chilul. How do you say chilul in English again?
Initiation.
No.
Desecration.
Desecration is not bad. There's a better word.
Profane.
Profaning. Okay, yeah, profaning is better. Yeah, that's great. Her beginning of profaning her kahuna, her father, who was a kohen, if that was the first time that she did that, was with his nus, then she gets reifa. Not the first time that she had relations. So then what's the pshat that you're comparing it to a naira murasa? Simona ba'alma. I'm not trying to learn something from naira murasa. I'm just using the same word that you could remember. Naira murasa over there is the first time ever that she had a relation. Over here it's the first time that she's mechalal. But it's the first time, so it's something that you can remember. It's a siman for memory. Says the Mishnah. Now, if you remember in Daf Yomi Gimel, we had a Mishnah that told us about all the people that get skila, they get stoning. So we're going through one by one. We had different Mishnayos here. Naira Murasa on this Amud. What else? We had Mekal, a father, cursing a father, Mekal Shabbos, all these things. We're going one by one. And now we're holding by the Mesis. Mesis, what's Mesis? Mesis is a hedir. Mesis means an individual who tries to convince somebody else to do Avodah Zarah. So we already had all sugya that we don't have a Yetzirah anymore for Avodah Zarah because Chachamim daven and daven. They were looking for a way to get out of it. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered their thing. And at the same time, a lot of the Kedusha left us. We don't have Nevuah anymore. But there used to be a tremendous Yetzirah of Avodah Zarah. So a guy goes and he's mesis. He tells somebody, hey, check out this Avodah Zarah. It's unbelievable. You got to check it out. It's amazing. Just for saying that, he gets the death penalty. Yesterday, I had a guy here from the Five Towns in the morning, and he told me that we share a friend, somebody in the Five Towns. So I said, yeah, did you try to get him for the daf? He's like, it's not my style. So then later on, I was preparing the shir, and I thought about this, the Mesis thing. It's the same thing again and again. If a guy tries to convince somebody to do something bad like Avodah Zarah, his penalty is death. So if you try to convince somebody to do something good, it should be 1,000 times, it's, mida tova meruba. There's no such thing, what?
That only if you succeed or if you just
No, even if you try. Huh? You're a guest? You're not such a guest. You were here before, right? We've met before.
I came last week after the trip.
After the shiur, that's what it was.
All the way to work.
That's right. Very good. Yeah, no, just for trying. For trying to be maces. That's why even, Yishkoyach, the guest gave me a better pshat now. Even for trying to get somebody to come to the shiur, trying to come to the daf, you get tremendous schar. You don't have to be successful. You have to try. Here we go. Mida tova meruba. V'amesis. Next, we keep on going. Esa hedyoy. Who is he trying to convince? An individual. So first, the first 3 words. Hamesis hedyoy. The guy doing the convincing is a simple person. Because if he was a navi, let's say, he wouldn't get skila, he would get chenek. So a simple person who tries to convince somebody else gets the worst death penalty possible, which is skila, stoning. V'hamesis is hedyoy. And who is he trying to convince? A simple person. So it's a simple person convincing a simple person. He's not trying to convince an entire city, the Ir Dachas. That's something else. That, if you try to do Ir Dachas, he gets chenek. Omar. Now what does he do? What does he say? Yeshira b'mokim ployni. There's a great Avodah Zarah in such he never says it's over here because you're going to check it out. You're going to realize that he's full of it. So he tells you, it's far away. I saw it in Africa. It's unbelievable. You should try it out. It's unbelievable. And he tells you, this thing eats and drinks. It does very good for you. And if you don't want to believe in it, it'll cause you damage. Maria, it'll be bad for you. Now, obviously, he has to stick in the end part, which is, let's go worship it. He has to talk about worshiping. Kol chayav v'misa shabbat Torah. You can't trap somebody. Entrapment. There's a, in America, there's a law about trapping people, like causing people to slip up in whatever it is. There's I'll tell you a ma'aseh shahaya I told to you in the past, but for my nephews, okay? Let me just. I used to run a catering business in Chicago, and started having issues where every time after the chasana, the kala would come to me and say, "Listen, I'm missing my jewelry, I'm missing my money," and it was usually the kala. So the kala was we gave her, 2 rooms for the yichud, but before the yichud room, we gave her the rooms for preparation. So trying to rack our brains, who is this and how is this? The Kitzer, day after chasana, things are being stolen. Then it went downstairs to the women's bathroom downstairs, the whole thing. So anyways, I set a trap. Basically, I put a bunch of money in a suitcase, and I put it in a place right before the bathroom, right before you go in, and I put the suitcase down, and I put a video camera on the ceiling, and my wife was there, and the manager of the property was there, and I photocopied all the money. Photocopied all the serial numbers and everything. And we went to me, my wife, and this woman, we went to the screen and we're watching. And we see a woman come, she's cleaning. She looks at the suitcase, looks this. She opens up the suitcase. I don't know how she did it. She didn't even open it up completely. She stuck her hand in, pulled the cash out, closed, and walked away. So I started running from the manager's office to catch her. And I run, I bring her, I go over there, I said, come with me. She's like, what? I said, get over here. And all of a sudden, like her mother, who also works for us, comes out of nowhere, and she's like, what are you doing? I said, I want to speak. Kitzer, we got her into a room. I said, give me the money. I saw what you did. She said, I don't have any money. You could check the whole thing. Anyways, I had to leave the room, and they checked her, and she didn't have any money on her. So, but what happened was, it turned out that she gave it to her mother. Because I told her, okay, that's it, I'm deporting you to whatever country you came from, we're getting you that. Plus, you stole for the last 3 weeks. So her mother said, okay. Oh no, so what really broke her was that I showed her a picture of the money. I said, this is the money you stole. Here's the money. And then I showed her the video of her going into the thing. So they gave me the money back, and then her mother went home and brought us a box, this big, full of, there was a whole bag of costume jewelry. Some woman that came for a previous wedding, she was on a business trip and she had thousands of dollars worth of this. It's not real jewelry, but it's worth thousands of dollars. And phones and cash and everything, cold tub, a whole box. Took us, I don't know, a long time to get it all back to everybody. But that's entrapment. That's setting a trap for somebody, putting money in a way. I don't know what the law is legally. I mean, they took it, but there's other similar. In the Torah, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to trap somebody. You think somebody's Mechal Shabbos, or you're not allowed to put a pretzel in somebody's tefillin to see if he wears tefillin or not. Whatever, okay. Depends if you're the roommate. You're not allowed to trap. You're not allowed to bring Adam, show somebody, put some money down. Open pushka, and so wait for somebody to come take the money on Shabbos, and a video guy, I got you. You don't do that. Only in one case are you allowed to do that, and that's for Avodah Zarah. There's a guy walking around the street, trying to convince people to do Avodah Zarah, you're allowed to trap him. How does it work? You can't trap him. Besides Avodah Zarah. If a guy walks over to two people, he's a missionary. He walks over to two people, and he says, "Hey, do Avodah Zarah." So those two people convert into what? Into the two Eidim that could put him to death. Hey, Nadov. Now that only works once. But once the missionaries realize that their friend just died because he tried to convince two people, so what are they going to do? They get smarter, and they're going to go only do to individuals. They can't go to two people now, because if you do two people, you could put them to death. So you start going to one person. So now you start going to one person. Now the guy wants to trap him. So he says, "Hey, don't tell me. I have a whole group of people that are very interested in Avodah Zarah. We're thinking about it. Come, tell us about it." Now he's not a friar, they like call him in Hebrew. If he's a conniving kind of guy, he knows not to give a drasha in public about Avodah Zarah because they'll put him to death. So what do you do? So now you put two Eidim behind the fence. Now this is very interesting, because what did we say a second ago? We said that if one individual he tries to bring two people to Avodah Zarah, what happens? Those two people convert into Eidim. So what happened over here? He came to one person and he said, "Hey, do Avodah Zarah." And now that one person wants to trap him, so he brings two Eidim and he puts them behind the fence. Why do you need two Eidim? What's enough? One Eid plus he himself, that's two, put him to death. The answer is that when it comes to Eidim, they have to see each other. They have to be in the same place. You can't have one Eid behind the fence on this side and the other Eid on the other side. They have to both be in the same. So that's why the Mishnah says they both have to be there. Tell me what you said yesterday privately. So he repeats it. So the guy tells him, "I don't understand. How are you going to leave the Rebbeinu Shalom and worship a piece of wood? Does it make sense? If he takes it back, great. This is our obligation. This is beautiful for us." Then the two people that try to trap him from behind the fence, they bring to Bez and they kill him. Question: why does the Mishnah say that he gives him a chance to do tshuva? When it comes to a guy that does Avodah Zarah, you don't give him any chances. The Torah says not to have rachmanas on him. So why does he have to say, "Are you sure we have a better Rebbeinu Shalom, we can worship"? Just, you try to do Avodah Zarah, you try to convince me to do Avodah Zarah? Off with your head. The answer is, because over here, since he tried to trap him, so he's told him, he said, "Hey, what did you say yesterday?" So he started the conversation. If he starts the conversation, it's different. If the maces starts the conversation, you're walking down the street, minding your own business, the missionary comes over and says, "Hey, I have Avodah Zarah," you don't give him a chance. Then if you have Eidim, that's it. Give him skila. But if you try to trap him and you said, "Hey, tell me what you said yesterday," so you started the conversation, not him. He just continued. That's not enough to kill him. Now we have to put him in a position where, "Hey, do tshuva." You tell him, "Do tshuva. I don't want to hear what you said yesterday." Then the guy says, "No, I'm not doing tshuva. I want I want you to worship Avodah Zarah, then you kill it.
Mace is only a Jew, also not a Jew.
The maces?
This mission.
No, because they're, I don't know. Skila is for, this mission is talking about a Jew. The guy doesn't have skila. Oh, so now just the Mishnah says, we know the different types of Avodah Zarah. We spoke about it, the shechita, there's making a barbecue to Avodah Zarah, there's pouring wine. So the Mishnah just says these Lashonos, what do you have to say? After you say that the Avodah Zarah is great, he eats, he drinks, he has powers, then you say, Evoid, let's go worship it. Or Eilich ve'evoid, I'm going to go and worship it. Neilich ve'evoid, here, come with me and let's worship it. All these are the languages that you get killed for. Ezbach, let me shecht. Eilich ve'ezbach, I'm going to go and shecht. Neilich ve'ezbach, let's go and shecht. Aktir, Eilich ve'aktir, Neilich ve'naktir, Anaseich, Eilich ve'anasich, Neilich ve'anasich, Eshtachave, I'm going to bow, Eilich ve'eshtachave, Neilich ve'eshtachave. Says the Gemara just explains what we already learned. Ha mesis a hedyoit. Mesis, the one doing it, the trying to convince, the convincer, is a simple person, because if he's a Navi, he doesn't get skila, what does he get? Chenek. Time of the hedyoit, a Navi bechenek. Va mesis as a hedyoit. You're trying to convince an individual, time of the yachid. Harabin bechenek. If he tries to convince a whole community, then he gets strangulation chenek. Masisamani. Who does the Mishnah go according to? Reb Shimon, he goes according to Reb Shimon, the Sanya Navi Shidiach Beskila. If the Navi, that we just said, he tried to get somebody to do Avodah Zarah, he gets skila, that's the Nechama. But we go like Reb Shimon bechenek. So that's why our Mishnah goes like Reb Shimon. Once again, if you try to get the entire city to do Avodah Zarah, you get skila, that's not us. Reb Shimon bechenek, that's us. Ema Seifa, but the question is, it says in the Seifa, what's the Seifa? The Seifa is the following Mishnah just in a few lines. It's called Seifa, it's a continuation of our Mishnah. Hamidiach, that's somebody that tries to get a whole city to do Avodah Zarah. But it's the next Mishnah. Remember, our Mishnahs are talking about what? Skila. It's a continuation of the Mishnah in Nun Gimel. What is skila? Mesis. So the next Mishnah is talking about mediach, and halacha is that skila. And what does it say? We're talking about trying to convince in Dachas. Now, according to Reb Shimon, the mediach of Dachas gets chenek, and the Mishnah says skila. Asan Rabbanon. That can't be. Why? Reish Reb Shimon b'sev Rabbanon. Our Mishnah we just learned goes like Reb Shimon. The next Mishnah goes like Rabbanon. That doesn't make sense. Says the Gemara, Vino Amar Kula Rabbanon. Both Mishnahs are Rabbanon. V'loi zu av zakatani. We're talking about that both Mishnahs. One is talking about a mediach yachid, mediach rabbim. Now, you're right. It shouldn't have. We didn't have to say our Mishnah, but it tells you the lesser chiddush. Lo yizu av zugtani. There's really a machlokes, what you get, and we're telling you in the second Mishnah you get skila. Omar Rav Papa Omar kikatani mesis zehedyoit. In other words, we're going away from what we said before according to Rav Papa. The mesis, he's the guy that's convincing Avodah Zarah, doesn't mean that the convincer is not a navi. It means kikatani mesis zehedyoit. Not that he's a simple person. We treat him like a shaita, like a simple person, lachmana, that we don't care about him. Typically speaking, we care about another Jew. We don't want to kill him. We're going to this. We have rachmanas on him. This guy, he's a hedyot. Not that he is a hedyot. Even if he's a navi, we treat him like a hedyot, like a simple person. We try to trap him. You don't try to trap anybody in the entire Torah. Besides this guy who is trying to convince somebody to do Avodah Zarah. How do you do this? You give him a nice, comfortable, private room inside, and you put Eidim outside. There's a nice candle, there's light inside. You know, a lot of people don't realize when you have light inside and it's dark outside, they say nobody can see me because outside it's dark. No, right? Sometimes you have to teach the kids, whatever it is, just because it's dark outside, because it's light by you, they can see you. So they see inside, so they see him. But he doesn't see them. And you tell me, repeat over what you told me. Nothing new here, something that we already learned, and he repeats it. He says, I wanted you to do Avodah Zarah. How do you expect us to leave Hashem and do Avodah Zarah? If he retracts, great. But if he says, no, it's better for us to do Avodah Zarah. Heidim sheshoyim machutz mevinos lebezdin. They bring it to bezdin. V'soiklin oisoi. Actually, the Heidim themselves are the ones that throw them off the roof, as we learned. They're the ones that do the push, and you do skila. Says the Mishnah. Hameidiach. What's a person who tries to convince the whole city? Zeoimer neilach v'navid Avodah Zarah. Hamachashev. Oh, now we're talking about kishuv. Hamachashev. If you do something physical, you change something physically, then you're chayiv misa. What are you chayiv? Skila. We're still talking about skila here. Talking about a machashev, it's mamish neget, the Parshas Shavua. A guy, he had a kid in Parshas Mishpatim, and he went to the Rebbe, and he said, Rebbe, I need a good name for my daughter. What should I name her? So the Rebbe says, okay, let's open up the Chumash. He started looking through Parshas Mishpatim, he couldn't come up with anything. He says, oh, I have a good one. Machshefa. Call him Machshefa. So the guy says, oh, that's an unbelievable name, but there's a shtickle problem. I have a problem. It says in Sefer Hasidim, you're not allowed to call your kid the same name as your mother-in-law. So if you do kishuv and you do mamish the same, you do action, take action, chayiv. But somebody who does something that it's just the sleight of hand, it looks, it's not real, it looks like, then you're not chayiv. Rabbi Kiva Oimer, Mishum Rabbi Yeshua, Shnayim loiktim kishuim. There are two people that gather vegetables, that gather cucumbers, or whatever it is, gourds. Echad loiket pater. The same person could do it in two ways. He could do it in a way, we're talking about kishuv here, magic. He does it in a way that you pater. Echad loiket chayiv. How? If he did it in a way, and the Gemara is going to discuss it probably tomorrow, he does it in a way of kishuv, that's a physical action. He gathered all the cucumbers to him, they're physically not attached to the ground, then you chayiv misa. Potter. But if you just do something that it looks like the real thing, then you are potter. Our boys have a tremendous chus here. We have a very, very famous magician. He lived on this block for many years, and he went on to became a national star. He was on TV they have a thing here, something like American Idol. What is it called there? Manny, He's going to show us Achizas Inayim. Wow, it's a zchut that you're here. It's not Pasha. He performs. Tell us. I don't know much about anything. So tell a little bit. Where's the number one place you perform? Where are the big places that you perform?
MDY.
Tonight is your biggest.
Okay.
But before. Binyanei Uma, sold out. Givaldik. Okay. First of all, you tell us a little bit of the halachas, maybe.
Hebrewish. We'll do it Hebrewish.
This is Rabbi Chemish. They understand. Hold on. Here, you know what? So let me put this thing in. Should I put this thing on you?
This is good. Hide your wallet.
My wallet. It's gone already.
Did we say that?
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, what should we do? Achizat Einayim or Kishuv?
First, tell us about Achizat Einayim. I want to see Kishuv. There's no Eidim here. We're all Pasal Eidim. Don't worry about it. So is it mutter? Is magic mutter? Also, what's the Regel Achas? What do the Gedolim say about magic?
So Achizat Einayim is mutter. Ashkenaz, everyone allowed.
Yeah.
Sfaradim, they have a little problem.
So no Sfaradim. Are there any Sfaradim in the room?
Should go out.
If you're Sfaradi, Arois.
So they
Yitzchak Yud is a Sfaradi. He's a famous Sfaradi from the Hebrew Shia.
So the very.
Oh wow, it's almost go on. He was at your thing.
איך היה?
הבן שלי נהנה עד לב השמיים.
מה איתך?
אני נהניתי, אבל כל הזמן צעקתי שהוא יעלה אותי לבמה, אבל הוא לא...
Okay, next.
So at the Sfardim, the Stark Sfardim, we need to teach something. So today we won't teach anything.
You have to, if you teach the magic afterwards,
So just one
but that's
thing.
just their trick to get you to know how to do the magic tricks. They don't. Okay. So let's see. What do you got?
So we'll try to do Achizas Einayim, okay?
Yeah.
I didn't do it for a long time, actually, and I never did it so close. So, Alte viloti, and you don't make me laugh because it's dangerous. This part. Not now.
It's good to laugh.
Yeah. We have here razors, yes? Sakinei giluach. מכיר אותם? You know them?
Sure.
We need the cards. 1 second. There we go.
Am I allowed to touch this?
Put
I
it
don't want
down.
to ruin anything.
You can touch.
We used to have a plastic. Okay, we have to get that table back.
Please feel it. Just feel. Not. Yeah. Is it real? Metal.
Very real. Very real.
Sharp. Rabbi, what bracha do we say on? Oh,
Wow, that almost
Razors.
cut me.
what bracha do we say on razors?
Oh no, you're gonna eat them now.
Eze bracha. Sharp. Do not try this at home. Only a cheer. Cheer you could. That's good. ברכה אחרונה. חסר לי מלא ברזל. One more.
He doesn't have iron in him, is what he said.
It's funny in Hebrew, I guess. Now don't make me laugh, because if you will make me laugh, everyone will be bold. אחרון חביב. One more?
No, speak. We got a whole thing to do
The
here.
Israelis are coming in.
We'll do it fast.
No strings attached. Yeah.
Pat is back. There you go. Up. Oh.
One. We got it. We tied them up. Achizat Einayim, Baruch Hashem. One more?
Now what's that? It looks like magic?
This
or it
looks
is
like magic.
It looks.
Looks like I tied them. Oh,
Oh.
this I found in Beit Shemesh like 15 years ago,
Yeah.
and I saved it for this moment.
Wow.
You know what it is? כדורי ביבי גן, fish kalach.
A BB gun.
Hell.
Do like this. You're gonna feel it. Don't be scared, okay?
Yeah, no. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, like
There we
a
go.
zit.
Open your hands.
Yeah. Oh.
Did it come out?
It did. I saw it come out.
יפה.
I like that.
מסוכן פה השיעור.
Nine.
Do it with one of those three. Can you do it? Lozi doesn't want. You want? No. Mental. You can do it.
I want to try to read your minds, Rabbi.
Who's mine?
I'm going to try to read your minds. Think about your PIN code of your debit card.
You got it?
I got it.
No, you know what? Think about a name of one of your rabbeim that you loved.
I didn't have it.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
I got it.
One name. תרשום אותו בעברית. Write it down. This is a proof for
Done?
later, yeah? I don't want to see. Did you write it down?
Yeah.
Fold it. Give you your signature. And hide it.
Done?
Yes. فتخبي את זה. Did you write his first name or his last name? What should I guess?
First.
First name?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Did you tell me the name before? Say the truth.
No, I really didn't. But it could be you picked in here.
Could be. Say the Aleph Beis out loud.
Aleph Beis.
I got it. That's Achiza Sinai. Okay. Please say it the first time. 1 second. What's his name?
Mayor.
Wow.
Fair. But this is not the magic. You know what's the magic? That's not the magic to find his name. Please stand up. Please welcome Rabbi Meir. I'm just joking. Next time. Shakla,
Why?
it's good answer for Hebrew. This is yours.
Wow. Okay, so is that mutter also? You ask your local rabbi. If you're Ashkenazi, it works. He said. Ramosha says anything that's the speed of the hand, but it's not.
Sleight of hand.
No, he talks about speed.
What's that?
When he swallows a blade, it's really not swallowing. He puts it over here. Whatever it is, whatever his trick is, the speed, that kind of stuff, that's okay. As long as, okay, so let's go weiter. Torah Baruch. Mechashefa, where are we? We're talking about people that are trying to convince a whole city to do Avodah Zarah. Says the Gemara, when we're talking about Kishuf, says in the Mishnah, you have to take action, you do action. When we're talking about a machashefa, even though the Torah says machashefa, it means any person. It could be a man also. So then why does the Torah talk about a machashefa? Most women are into the kishuf. We even have a picture here of a bunch of girls, instead of taking the bus to Beis Yaakov, this is out. What's the death penalty? But when it says Klal Yisrael should go into Eretz Yisrael and destroy all the 7 nations in Eretz Yisrael, so it says Lo Yisachaya. Remember, it says Lo Yisachaya. No, by Chashev it says Lo Yisachaya. When you go into Eretz Yisrael, how are you going to kill these guys? You kill them with a sword, sayif. Avkan b'sayif, so too a machshev you kill with the sword. Remember the story with the 90 witches? How did they kill her? How did they kill her? 80, 90, 80, 80. Very good. But in barrel, but how did they kill them? Chenek, strangulation. That was a Horah Shah, that was a special thing for then. Slightly different lashon. Sechaya lo yichya. By Har Sinai, if you come close to the Har Sinai, you must die, even if you're an animal. Malal b'skila, afkan b'skila. So it's talking about skila. Oh my Lord, Rabbi Yossi, ani danti lo yichaya lo yichaya. Wait a minute, I'm better, says Rabbi Yossi. I took the 2 words that are exactly the same. Lo yichaya, lo yichaya. Rabbi Kiva, you're a little off over here. It's close, but it's not the same thing as Lo Yichya. I learned a Jew from a Jew. There's different death penalties, 4. And but you're trying to learn from a guy in a war, he dies beside. Well, guess what? There's only one death penalty for a guy, and that's with a sword. Daf Samach Zayin Amud Beis is sponsored by Kinovations LLC in honor of Elchon Pressman, official. And thank you to Refuah Stefansky. Adar Global, experts in international financial services, anonymous. Says the Gemara. I have another way to learn it. It says you shouldn't let a witch live. You die. The 2 psukim are one next to another, so that's called smicha. They are next to each other, so I can learn one from the other. I can learn the topic or whatever the einish is in one to the other. If someone has relations with an animal, he gets skila stoning. Mechashev is skila, so too a mechashev mechasheva gets skila. Only Rabbi Yehuda. Now Rabbi Yehuda never learns in the Torah. Not never. I shouldn't say never. 4 out of the 5 chumashim he doesn't learn smichus. He doesn't learn this idea that if one pasuk next to the other, you can learn something from it. So he says because they are close to each other. So I'm going to give this guy the worst death penalty out of the 4. Skila is the worst. Hello. Now, where does the Rabbi Yehuda learn? Very good. Where does Rabbi Yehuda learn smuchim? In Mishnah Torah, in Devarim. Then he does learn, but this is not in Devarim. On the side, you can see it's in Shmois Chav Beis. Oiv and Yedayni, those who talk to the dead, the neshamas, it's this type of sorcery, it's a type of kishuf. And why are they different? To teach you The same penalty that you get for Oivi Yidoni, you get by regular Machashiv. Ask the Gemara, you know that if the Torah says something once, then you can learn everything out of it. But if the Torah says the same thing twice, if the Torah says the same thing twice, then the Torah is trying to tell you only in these two places, don't learn anything out of them. You can't learn from this to the rest of the Torah. This is where we learn for the whole Shas, because Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion. So anywhere in Shas, the Gemara always says, and the Gemara always says, that's great according to the man that says, what about the man that says Melamda? Who's this man Amar? Says Rashi, here's the man Rabbi Yehuda. We learn from this Gemara, Amud Beis, that Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion that if you have two psukim that say the same exact thing, you could learn from the rest of the Shas. Now don't fall asleep, because now here we go into the Geshmaka stories. Why is it called Kishuf? Because it's a play on words. The makrish, they basically, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu says so-and-so is going to die when he's 70 years old, comes around a witch, and she puts a spell on him, she kills him when he's 50. So she's taking away from the Rebbeinu Shleilim. There's nobody but the Rebbeinu Shleilim. Now, in other words, you have to always believe that it's the Rebbeinu Shleilim that runs the world. He decides when somebody lives, somebody dies, etc. Now, I got to tell you, once we're here at Ein Mavadoi, there's a famous story of the Brisker Rovers, which I'll tell you in a second. But one of the nicest things my wife ever got me, it was very emotional, and I'll tell you why. She got me this trait. Let me show you real quickly. You see over here on the bottom, it says, Einoi Milvadoi. It's real silver. It's good stuff. You know where I found it? I couldn't find it. It was in the toy shelf with all the toys, Lego stuff all over it. The clean lady just threw it in there, whatever. I found it, polished it, brought it here. I said, why did you get me this? Why did you say it? She says, I know this is your favorite pasuk. It touched me, like she knew that. I don't really talk about it a lot. Why is it my favorite pasuk? Because this is, if you only came for this, it's Kedai. And if you didn't know this before, it's Kedai. Check this out. There's a famous Reb Chaim Volozhiner. It's called the Zgula of Reb Chaim Volozhiner. Okay, I don't want to fall taka. It says like this. This is a Zgula. This is not a hiji-biji where a red bracelet made out of that thread or anything and whatever. This is the real deal. For any simple person. And it has worked. If anybody in this room has a story, a personal story with this, let me know. Now, not after shir. If you have a problem, you have a court case, you have whatever it is, you're sitting in court and it looks tough, there's a way out of it. It's not nobody's going to affect it. If a person says in his heart, Hashem is the real God, there's nobody but HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He goes on to say this. The famous story of the Brisker Rov was escaping the Nazis, and they were driving a car. He said, don't worry, just go. He says, well, yeah, but there's the roadblock over there with Nazis. Go. And they went, and they opened up the thing, and he went through, one after another. And on the last one, they stopped him, they searched the car, the whole thing. He says, tell me, they said, what exactly, why did you say go? He says, I have a Kabbalah from Reb Chaim Volozhiner, that if you think in your mind, really, you get rid of everything. You say, there's no judge. A human being can't get me. Nobody's going to get me. It's Ein Oid Milvad. It's just a Rebbeinu Shleilim. Then nothing could happen. No, so that's why it opened up. But why the last one? Why did they get you? He says, because I started feeling confident. I started relaxing. He said, oh, it's going. Great. Yeah? And I wasn't thinking about it. And they got us. But once they started searching the car, I started thinking again, Ein Oid Milvadoi, and they just left us. And there's stories upon stories. A guy said in the Hebrew Shir, that he was having a crazy court case, and then they switched to another from Yerushalayim from Tel Aviv to Yerushalayim. They said, "What are you crazy? That's the worst judge in the world. Why did you do it?" And then somebody came to him right before. A lady came to him and said, "Listen, just think about Ein Mavadi the whole time." So he thought, and not only the judge, the things that he couldn't believe, they got the other side to pay him a whole matzav. Anyways, Each person in their story, I'm telling you, it works for simple people as well. Even when there's kishuf involved, you can't. Kishuf is not gonna hurt you. Here, Raya. The Rebbe Chanina, this switch, he didn't know yet. She's trying to get dirt or dust from underneath his feet. That's how you do kishuf. Omar Lo, he sees her. He says, if you're able to get the dirt, go ahead, try it. I believe in the Rebbe. You're not going to be able to harm me. And we just said, why is it called kishuv? You could distort what was supposed to happen. You could change it. Don't try this out at home. Don't let the machashav do tricks on you. He was different. He had a lot of schusim. By the way, here's the Rashi I have to show you. If the Rebbeinu Shalom wants me, you're not going to be able to hurt me, says Rucha. You can't change. If this is what it's supposed to be, this is what it's supposed to be. The in Shari B'tachan, Chavis says the 9th darga, the second the highest darga is when a person says, whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me, that is my best situation. I'm not asking Rebbeinu Shalom for Refuah Shelaima. That is my right now, sick, that's good for me. That's good for me. Whatever it is, that's what he's saying. If that's what it's supposed to be, you can't hurt me. When the Mitzrim try to do with their sticks, so one time it says it with the hay, one time it says it without. The beginning, and belahatayim. What's the difference? It's not a kunz, yeah? Ask many. If you could do the kishuv on your own, great. But if you need to use those shadim, anybody can do it with shadim. So we had a whole shmuz about this. I could also do this stuff like this, using shadim. His trick is he uses it without shadim. That's the choshev. There's a sword that spins like a fan, going into that like that. Or the kabbalah amano, how do you know? If a person he has to hold on to something the whole time, shed. Then he's using shadim, not a big deal. But if he's not holding like a vessel in his hand, shafim, then it's the real deal. Then it's kishuv. Omar Abaya, hilchas shafim kilchas Shabbos. You should know there's 3 stages, 3 categories maybe in kishuv, just like there's 3 categories in Shabbos. Yeshmem beskila, the worst of the worst, you get the death penalty. Yeshmem pater avlaser. Some are derabbanan, so it's you don't get the death penalty, but it's also to do. Some are mamish mutter, and here, this is where they get the heter for magic. If you try to do something physical, death penalty, skila. But if you're just trying, you pretend, like David Blaine or whoever it was, he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. No, everybody was copying it. Everybody knows that he didn't what, he put the Statue of Liberty in his pocket, but the way he had them seated and the way, whatever he did, it disappeared. No. When you're sitting there, you chap, it's chizis anayim potter. Avalasa. Right. Mutal chatchila. What's mutal chatchila? K'der Rav Chanina v'Rav Yishaya. Kol mali sham savaski b'hilcha yitzira. This is the Gemara we had already. That there's a sefer called Sefer Yitzira, and in there it has all the different combinations of how you put letters together and use Shem Hashem, and you could create things. Umibirlu igit tilta, and they created a 3rd calf, meaning either it was born, it's the 3rd, the mother only had 3, this is the number 3, it's the best one, or it only lived a 3rd of its life, like today we eat veal, it's a little more gishmak, and they would eat it. And that's okay, l'chatchila, why? Because you're using Sefer Yitziri, not using Kishuv. Omer Ravashi, chazina lavua de karna, the nofetz v'shadi kricha de shiroi b'nechirei. I saw, this reminds me of what he just did. He sneezed, and a coat came out of his nose. Somebody have razor blades coming out of the mouth, the coat came out. I saw the Karna's father do this. Okay. Let's see if we're missing anything here. Oh, and this is a Geshmak Rashi I want to show the Olam. It says that Rav Chanina had a lot of schusim And that's why they say them. So Rashi says, Umasri nafshei mishmayil atzulei. I thought it's a murder galoshan. Here in this world, we could be moiser nefesh for something. In Shemayim, they're moiser nefesh to save him. That's an interesting lashon, no? In Shemayim, really, he should die from the kishu. But they're moiser nefesh in Shemayim to save him. Anyway, we got to go because the Israelis are coming in here in a second. They start packing in here. It's oy vavoy for us. Sorry. Once Moshe Rabbeinu made kinim were so small, then the Mitzrim said we can't do this, we can't imitate this, and therefore it must be HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You see from here that a shade cannot create something that's less than a barley. Rav Papa Omar Heloikim, which is a lashon of a shvuah. I swear, they can't even create something the size of a camel. Forget about the size of barley. Why? They could gather things. They can make animals come to you, but they can't create an animal. I saw with my own eyes an Arab take a sword, cut up a camel into pieces, shred him, chopped him up into pieces. And then he rang a bell, and all of a sudden the camel jumped up. Did you look on the ground? Did you see any blood, any leftovers, any kishkas? No, nothing. Then when he chopped him up and put him back to life, that was just not real kishuv. Says the Gemara, here comes the crazy story in all Shas. Zir went to Mitzrayim. Zovan Chamara. Today, you could buy like one of these bags of this, a purse for your wife. It typically costs $3,000. You can buy in China for $50. That's what is it called? Knockoff. They used to have the same thing back in the day. You can buy a knockoff donkey. Knockoff donkey. How does it work? Zovan Chamara buys a donkey. When he came to give it some water to drink, it says, it's the donkey, it's thirsty. Poshar, it melted. All of a sudden, in his hand, he has a piece of wood. It went from a donkey to a piece of wood. So he goes back, he says, I want my money back. What kind of business is this? He gave me a piece of wood. He said, he loves the zirat, if not the fact that you're such a chashuv person called ziri. We wouldn't give you a cent back. This is China. You look, you know you're not getting the real deal. You know it's a knockoff. You got to immediately take some water and pour it on it. So they ask, how come the Mitzrim didn't take some water and pour it on Moshe's snake? The answer is because maybe Moshe took a snake and made it into a stick and then a snake. So it wouldn't work. Okay, fine. So here's the story. Rabbi, here it comes. It doesn't say Rav Yanai. It seems like this person was not the most chashuv guy in the world. He went, he stayed in an hotel. Omar lo, Ashkimayo, could I have some water? Krivu, shatisa. So she gave him something called shatisa. It's like a mixture of some water with some flour. Now, as she's giving it to him, she sees she's whispering something. Oh, that already was the simon. He realized that she might be a witch. Shada purtamine hava krab. We have a geschmack picture. Here it is. He took some of the water and poured it on the ground. And the water turned into scorpions. Geschmack. Hava krabi. Omerlo. So he says, he says to her, she didn't realize that he realized. Omerlo, anosha soy miditchu. I drink yours. Geschmack was very good. Thank you. Atun nami shesumididi. I also have a drink for you. Ashkel, she gave it to her and she drank. Havechamara. She turns into a donkey.
Was it a different drink or the one she had given him?
No, a different one. Rachva, he wasn't Rav Yanai. This Yanai, he also a little bit of Mechashev. So he decided, free donkey. Let me ride this donkey into town. Rachba, so he rides the donkey. Salk the shuk and he goes into the market. So now her friend shows up. Says, whoa, I recognize that donkey. That looks exactly like my friend. Pasherla, she did a spell and she made her melt. Chazio, so then it turned out the Rochav Ekoya Itze Beshuka. Yanni is riding on top of a woman in the middle of the shuk. Don't worry, we have a whole video of this. Here goes.
Shrek.
Hold on. Now he's in the marketplace. Okay, Givaldik. Next. Rechava Solik Shuga. Okay, great. This is, everybody agrees that this is one of the craziest stories in Shas? This has to be one of the craziest. Okay? Says Gemara V'talat Tzvardei V'tachas Esterson Mitzrayim. One more minute, we're almost done. So, the Tzvardeya, we all know. What do we learn in Cheder? Well, how did it happen? How do you have a lot of Tzvardeim? How do you have? The one, and you hit it, says the Gemara, there's only one. So she gave birth to many, and that's how all the Tzvardeim came. We even have a picture of this. I don't know why, but okay, here we go. Why are you saying pshatim in Agadata? You are the goyim. There was almost never a Jew as great as Rebbe Kiva. Stop with that Agadata. You should go do heavy stuff, lumdus. It's interesting because when the Chavetz Chaim met Chaim Brisker, they had a conversation, and I don't know who said what to who, but they say that part of the conversation was that maybe yeshiva bachrim, instead of learning tzois and shef and all these things, they should learn oyalois, which is to make him sharper, even sharper. Okay, and then he says, there's a famous stipler. It says, I don't understand. The first mystery comes along, whacks this frog, and 1,000 frogs come out of it. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to stop. What are you whacking it again? Another 1,000. Another. What are you, crazy? He says, yeah, that's what happens when you get mad. You lose your mind. You're not thinking rationally. It doesn't even make sense what you're doing. To break things, a certain team loses, so you break the TV. That makes sense. You acted with the Mishugar. Okay, Mishugar. Sharka. What happened was she whistled. Shargalam, Vein Bo, like we learned at Kishuf, you could summon things. So this frog summoned many frogs from all over the world. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful week. Yeshua for coming. Yeshua many, everybody. Round of applause for Manny.